Self-doubt dissolves in inner authority. Welcome to this beautiful space of remembering. Today, we're dissolving one of the greatest illusions of the human experience. The idea that self-doubt is a mountain that you have to climb. We have been taught that self-trust and confidence are like muscles, that if we work hard enough, if we gather enough evidence, if we succeed enough times, then we'll finally earn the right to be certain. We treat doubt like an enemy to be defended or a weakness to be cured. But from a level of pure consciousness, we see that this is something entirely different. Self-doubt is not a fact. It's not a character trait. It's simply an energetic signal. It is the sound the mind makes when it's temporarily lost its anchor in the present moment. And then it's begun to seek security in the future or in the past. Imagine that you're a captain of a ship. Your inner authority is the rudder. And when you're standing at the helm, looking at the horizon, the ship moves with precision. But self-doubt is what happens when you leave the helm, go down into the belly of the ship, and start asking the passengers where they think that the ship should go. The passengers are your thoughts. They are the echoes of your parents' fears, the what ifs of your ego, and the projections of a society that profits from your indecision. When you ask a passenger for the direction, they will give you 1,000 different answers based on their own baggage. And in that noise, you feel lost, you feel doubtful, but notice that the ship hasn't changed. The ocean hasn't changed. Only your position relative to the helm has changed. So today, we're returning to the helm. So why do we doubt ourselves? Beneath every I don't know if I can, there's a hidden question. Is it okay if I do? We're conditioned from childhood to seek permission. We look to teachers for the grade, to parents for the nod, and bosses for promotion. So we have outsourced our sense of correctness to external authorities for so long that we've totally forgotten that we are the authority of our internal kingdom. When you are in a state of higher consciousness, you realize that the universe is not a hierarchy. There is no one above you that holds the stamp of approval for your life. If you are waiting for a sign or for someone to tell you that you're ready, you are fundamentally misunderstanding your nature. You're the one who creates the sign. You are the one who decides when you're ready. Self-doubt is actually a form of spiritual bypassing. It is a way that the ego avoids responsibility of its own power. Because if I don't know, then I don't have to act. And if I doubt myself, I have an excuse to stay in the small familiar, even if the familiar is painful. But you didn't come here to be comfortable. You came here to be expressed. True self-trust and confidence arise the moment you stop asking for permission and start recognizing that your very existence is the only permission you will ever need. Let's look at the mechanics of doubt. Doubt is made of thought, and thought is fluid. It's momentary and it's neutral until you give it your attention. So right now, as you listen to me, there may be a thought in your mind. It might be saying, but Susan, I've made so many mistakes in the past. How can I trust myself? Notice that thought. And then notice the one who is aware of the thought. The one who is aware of the doubt is not doubtful. The one who is aware of the fear is not afraid. The one who is aware of the mistake is the perfection of consciousness itself. This is the identity shift. When you identify as the thinker, you are at the mercy of the quality of your thoughts. If the thoughts are negative, you feel small. If the thoughts are positive, you feel big. You are on an emotional roller coaster and it will never end. But when you identify as the awareness, you are in the silence which the thoughts appear and disappear. You are the screen, not the movie. Inner authority is found in the screen. The screen doesn't try to change a movie. It doesn't argue with a sad scene or get excited by a happy one. It simply provides the space for it all to happen. When you anchor into this awareness, confidence ceases to be an emotion that you chase and becomes a state of being that you inhabit. The unshakable knowing that regardless of what movie your life may look like today, you are the screen. You are whole, you are untouched, and you are fundamentally okay. The universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to your frequency. If you're trying to manifest a new reality while vibrating in the frequency of I'm not sure, you are essentially sending a scrambled signal. And it's like trying to tune a radio into a station while standing between two different frequencies. All you'll get is static. This static is what we experience as stuckness and resistance. And many people think that they need to get rid of the doubt before they can manifest. This is another trap. You don't need to get rid of it. You need to see it and see through it. Certainty is not the absence of doubt. Certainty is the presence of your inner authority in spite of the mind's noise. When you make a decision from your core, from that place of lived knowing, the universe immediately begins to align with that decision. It doesn't wait to see if you feel confident. It responds to the fact that you have stopped negotiating with yourself. Think of a time when you were absolutely certain about something small. Perhaps it was choosing a meal or which way to turn on a familiar street. In that moment, was there effort? Was there a need for positive thinking? No, there was just a quiet, of course. And that, of course, is the frequency of manifestation. It's the sound of the higher self moving through you. When you move from, of course, you're no longer trying to make life happen. You are allowing life to happen through you, through the clarity of intent. We must address the great villain of self-trust, the fear of being wrong. Self-doubt is often a protection mechanism against perceived failure. We think if I don't trust myself, I won't make a mistake, and then I won't be hurt. But in the higher levels of calibration, we realize there are no mistakes. There is only data. There is only redirection. If you take a step and it leads to an outcome that you didn't expect, your inner authority doesn't see that as a reason to doubt itself. It sees it as a valuable piece of information. It adjusts its sail and keeps moving. Doubt arises when you judge the data. Confidence arises when you use the data and move forward. You have never failed. You have only ever been in a process of refinement. Every time you think that you were going the wrong way, you are actually being initiated into a deeper understanding of what the right way feels like for you. Trusting yourself doesn't mean trusting that you will always get what you want. It means trusting that you are capable of handling whatever the universe brings to you. It is the trust in your own resilience, the trust in your own awareness. And when you know that you are the source of your own peace, you stop being afraid of external outcomes. And when you stop being afraid, doubt has nowhere to land. It becomes a shadow without a wall to fall on. How do we live this? How do we walk through a grocery store or a boardroom or a difficult conversation from a place of inner authority? It is a practice of checking in rather than checking out. When you feel the wobbliness of doubt, don't look for a solution in your thoughts. Don't go back to the passengers in the belly of the ship. Instead, drop your attention down into your feet, into your breath, into the I am that is observing the wobbliness. Ask yourself, in this exact moment, as I am sitting here right now, is anything actually wrong? Or is there just a thought saying that something might be wrong later on? You will find in the present moment, you are almost always okay and always certain. The present moment is the only place where self-trust and confidence can live. You were born with this authority. It is your natural inheritance. You didn't lose it. You just started believing in the noise. I invite you to turn the volume down on the noise and to turn the volume up on the silence. If you want to stabilize this unshakable certainty, book a clarity call. Let's look at the passengers that are still trying to steer your ship. Join the Clarity Shift experience. If you are ready to live your life from the helm without apology and without hesitation. And download the free Clarity Shift guide below. It is a map to help you find your way back to the rudder whenever the storm of thinking gets loud. You are the captain. You are the sea. You are the destination. Stop doubting the infinite. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. I intend this created clarity to live fully and freely with gratitude. I'll see you soon.